My hands were steady as I typed the email that would end my career. Request denied. Admin access requires level 4 clearance. Send. 20 minutes later, security escorted me from the building I'd protected for 7 years. My coffee mug, the one that said, "World's Most Paranoid Security Chief," still sat warm on my desk. The CEO's daughter got her admin access that afternoon. 7 days later, she destroyed everything. My name is Renee Hassan, and if you've ever been punished for doing the right thing, for choosing integrity over a paycheck, hit that subscribe button. Because sometimes the universe keeps score in ways we never expect. This is the story of how following protocol cost me my job and saved my career. Picture this. Monday morning, 8:47 a.m. I'm reviewing weekend security logs when an email pops up. Subject line: access for Natalie, urgent. Natalie Fitzgerald, 26 years old, marketing degree from an Ivy League school, and exactly 5 days into her new role at Templeton Systems. Oh, and one other credential. She happened to share DNA with Marcus Fitzgerald, our CEO. The request was simple: full administrative access to our back-end systems. Her reason? To review analytics for an upcoming campaign. I actually laughed. Not a cruel laugh, more like the nervous chuckle you make when someone asks if they can borrow your car to learn how to drive. On the highway, during rush hour, blindfolded. See, I'd spent 7 years building our security infrastructure. Every protocol, every firewall, every redundancy, they all existed because I'd seen what happens when the wrong person gets the wrong access. We were handling data for 40 million customers. Credit cards, social security numbers, medical records. I typed my response carefully, professionally. Hi, Natalie. Welcome to the team. Admin access requires level 4 technical clearance and completion of our security certification program. I'd be happy to pull the analytics reports you need directly. Please send over your specific requirements. My desk phone rang before I could grab my second coffee. Marcus's assistant. Her voice had that practiced sweetness that barely masked an order. Mr. Fitzgerald would like you to reconsider Natalie's request. Family exception. Family exception. 2 words that didn't exist in any compliance manual I'd ever read. I understand the situation, I said, watching my reflection in my monitor's black edge, but federal privacy protocols don't recognize. The line went dead, with a click that echoed like a judge's gavel. I sat there for a moment, feeling the weight of what was coming. Then I did what 7 years of security training demanded. I documented everything. Audit log number 8437, time-stamped, digitally signed. Forwarded to legal with a note about attempted override of security protocols. That single email would become the most important thing I ever wrote. Tuesday morning arrived like a storm front. Marcus didn't knock. CEOs rarely do. He filled my doorframe. His Tom Ford suit immaculate, his expression anything but. Since when do you override executive requests? My spine straightened involuntarily, muscle memory from years of standing my ground. Since those requests violate federal privacy protocols and put 40 million customers at risk. The silence stretched between us like a tightrope. His jaw worked, his fingers drummed against his thigh, a nervous tell I'd noticed in board meetings when numbers went south. You know what, Renee? You're absolutely right. Security is important. So important that we need someone who understands the full picture, the business picture. You're done here. 20 minutes. That's how long it took for my 7-year career to pack into a banker's box. My ergonomic keyboard. The stress ball shaped like a firewall. That coffee mug, still warm, still full. Security walked me out, their faces apologetic but professional. Through the glass doors, I saw Natalie at my former desk, her marketing team clustered around her, pointing at screens I knew they didn't understand. Their laughter followed me to the parking garage, bright and careless, like children playing with matches in a gunpowder factory. I spent the rest of the week in my kitchen, baking sourdough and updating my resume. There's something meditative about kneading dough. The repetition, the transformation. the way chaos becomes structure with enough patience. Between proofing sessions, I copied every documentation file I legally could. My compliance reports, my security recommendations, that beautiful, damning audit log 8437. The company's IT system purged my access within hours, standard protocol I'd actually written. But those documents, they lived in my personal cloud, time-stamped and authenticated. I wasn't planning revenge, I was just following protocol. My protocol. Monday morning, my phone exploded. Not literally, though the notifications felt like shrapnel. 47 messages before 7 a.m. My former colleagues, tech reporters, my mother somehow. The headline on TechCrunch stopped my coffee mid-sip. Massive data breach at Templeton Systems, 40 million records exposed. My hands didn't shake. They stayed perfectly steady as I read how an internal error led to customer databases being uploaded to a public-facing server, how someone with admin access had tried to streamline analytics by creating shortcuts that bypassed every security measure. The someone remained unnamed, but I knew. God, I knew. By noon, Templeton's stock dropped 30%. By evening, their cyber insurance carrier released a statement that made my sourdough starter bubble with vindication. Claims related to breaches resulting from unauthorized administrative access or failure to follow documented security protocols are not covered under Policy 447B. Translation: you're on your own. $47 million in projected losses. Class action lawsuits brewing like storm clouds. Federal investigators descending like antibodies on an infection. My phone rang. Unknown number, but I recognized the area code. Templeton's legal department. Ms. Hassan, we need your documentation regarding security protocol adherence, specifically any records of override attempts. I smiled, already pulling up the file. Audit log 8437, I said, savoring each number. Digitally signed, time-stamped, and I believe you'll find it was also forwarded to your department last Tuesday at 9:14 a.m. The pause on the other end tasted like vindication. Wednesday's headlines wrote themselves. CEO Marcus Fitzgerald resigns amid data breach scandal. But here's the part that still makes me smile. The call that came Thursday afternoon. The board had appointed an emergency recovery team, and they needed someone who understood the system, someone who could rebuild what was broken, someone who had tried to prevent it all. Triple your previous salary, the interim CEO said, full autonomy on security decisions, and Renee, that family exception thing, dies with Marcus's tenure. I accepted, but with one condition. My first act would be implementing mandatory security training for everyone, especially marketing. I returned to my old office that Monday. Someone had cleaned it, organized it, even left a new coffee mug on the desk. World's most vindicated security chief. Natalie's desk sat empty, her colorful marketing materials still scattered across it like aftermath. She'd been quietly transferred to a special project, code for Lawsuit Shield. Her admin access had lasted exactly 7 days. The damage it caused would take years to fully calculate. Here's what I learned. They fired me for doing my job. Turns out, my job was the only thing that could save what was left of theirs. Integrity isn't just about being right. It's about documenting that you were right. Every email, every warning, every refusal to compromise. They're not just principles. They're receipts. And sometimes, the universe has a way of asking for them. That coffee mug still sits on my desk right next to a printed copy of Audit Log 8437 framed in gold. What's the most satisfying work karma you've witnessed? Drop your story in the comments. I read every single one. And if you believe that sometimes justice serves itself, hit subscribe and join our community where doing the right thing always pays off eventually. Until next time, remember, your integrity is your insurance policy. Keep the receipts.